So I'll call to order this Town Council meeting of April 2nd, 2019. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Yes. Councillor Ward?
Here.
Councillor Colby?
Here.
Councillor Brunel?
Here.
Councillor La Rochelle?
Here.
Councillor Albert?
Here.
And Councillor Lunt?
Here.
Next item.
Next item is good news and recognition. The Order 2019-65, the proclamation for the Lisbon High School Drama Club.
Need a motion?
I'll make the motion.
No second.
All right. We'll call the ladies forward, and gentlemen from the Drama Club. I'm going to stand up here while we read your plaque.
I get to, okay.
I'll read it from here so you can hear me. Whereas the Lisbon High School Drama Club had a very dramatic and successful year. 44 students were involved in the production of The Secret in the Wings in November, which had 3 sold-out performances. Theater art classes as an independent costume class began working on the one-act production, Scenes from the White Snake, in September. After completing a formal analysis of the play and many hours of research, the 35-minute version was ready to be cast in December. Countless hours were spent in rehearsal, building, and painting the set, and creating 37 Song Dynasty costumes, 6 elaborate puppets, as well as many detailed priorities. Whereas on March 9th, the Lisbon High School Drama Club won the regional competition at Thornton Academy. Regional Festival All-Cast Awards were awarded to Ben Duquette, Alia French, and Jeffrey Schamberger. Special judges' commendations were awarded to Kiara Bouchard for puppet design and construction, Jenny Dong for costume design, Lisbon High School costuming class for costume construction, Liz Curry and Hunter McKellick for drumming, Elizabeth Chase and Lee Walls for choreography, and Nick Eastman for projection. Whereas on March 23rd, the Lisbon High School Drama Club won the Class B Maine Drama Festival State One-Act Competition in Ellsworth with a score of 296 out of a possible 300, and will represent Maine at the New England Theater Festival in Cranston, Rhode Island in April. State Festival All-Cast Awards were awarded to Emily Chase, Kiara Bouchard, Cameron Goslin, and Austin La Rochelle. Special judges' commendations were awarded to Kiara Bouchard for puppet design and construction, Emily Chase and Leah Walls for choreography, Jeffrey Schamberger, Ben Duquette, and Alia French for excellence in narration, Jenny Dong for costume design, dramaturgy, and Chris Roop, Liz Curry, and Hunter McKellick for live instrumentation. Now, therefore, we, the Town Council of the Town of Lisbon, on the second day of April 2019, would like to congratulate these students for their outstanding achievement. Well done.
That was great. Like that. My favorite thing. No, seriously.
I'm a one-act show here, too.
Go, Twyla.
So the vote, all those in favor?
That's all those in favor? Opposed?
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. And, yeah, great stuff. Oh, one more thing. You guys still raising money?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's point that out. These kids want to go to Rhode Island, so let's dig deep in our pockets and get them there. Thanks again. All right. Next item.
Public hearings, the proposed charter amendment to consolidate voting districts.
Okay. No surprises.
Do you need
there.
any explanations or anything?
I don't think just for the sake of going through it for the public wouldn't be a bad thing. But I think
Yeah.
well.
This started back when we consolidated our polling places, and the state recognized that we had Ward 1 and Ward 2, and our ballots were the same. So they asked us to consolidate our Ward 1 and 2 voting districts, and now this would be the next step to consolidate our District 1 and District 2 locally for your council seat, meaning that everybody would be elected at large. So if you were electing 3 people, the 3 highest people on the ballot would win. If you're electing 1, the highest on the ballot would win.
Pretty simple.
Pretty straightforward.
Anybody got anything before we move on this?
Okay.
And goal is to make Lisbon, right?
Yeah.
Always one.
That's right. One basket of goods, is our friend down at the end. So,
Basket.
take a motion.
That would be just to close the public hearing.
Close that.
And the next item is audience participation and response for agenda items.
At this time, anybody in the audience who wants to come up and talk about anything on the agenda, feel free to do so. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item.
Okay, and the next item is audience, let's see, did we do audience
We
participation?
did.
So consent agenda. Any counselor wishing to have any item removed may do so now. Items removed from the consent agenda would be considered next. Seeing none. Order 2019-66 to approve the municipal accounts payable and payroll warrants. Number 3202019 for $7,698.08. Number 56 for $180,794.73. Number 3272019 for $9,781.39. Number 3202019A for $27,434. Number 57 for $18,225.14. Number 422019 for $142,817.17. The school accounts payable and payroll warrants. Number 1048 for $329,824.70. Number 22 for $754.50. Number 1912 for $5,304.41. Number 1049 for $339,454.90. Number 1050 for $11,612.09. The workshop minutes for March 12th and the regular minutes for March 19th. And to set a public hearing on April 16th for a victuals license for Quasi's to go.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Order passed 6-0.
Next item.
Under Council Orders, Resolutions, and Ordinances, Order 201967 to set the June 11th, 2019 date for the school budget validation referendum election and order ballot printing.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Order passed 6-0. Next item, Order 2019-68 to set the public hearings on May 7th for the school budget and school CIP.
It's your turn, Mark. Let's go.
All right, I'll make that motion.
See?
There you go. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Order passed 6-0.
Keep it lively. Next item, please.
Order 2019-16.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put the brakes on, please.
Yeah. I was asked before we voted, but is there already a place set for the public hearing? Is that going to be here? For the, it will be here. Okay. Sorry.
No, good question. Next item.
Thank you.
Order 2019-69 to set the school budget adoption date for May 14th, 2019.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Order passed 6-0.
Next item.
Order 2019-70, the order for the special municipal election, the charter amendment. This is the special election on June 11th to fill the District 2 vacancy in the office of Town Council.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Do we have a candidate yet?
No.
No one's taking papers out
So
yet?
this is, can you rehash the deadline on that, Twilight, just for the listening public to see if we can't get somebody for that election?
We can do a
When-
little
what do they do by?
advertising. April 19th on Friday at 4:30.
So the process is get in 50 signatures to you by then to be able to be considered on this ballot, correct?
So if they don't, hypothetical,
Yeah.
so if we have nobody,
After July 1, you can point because you have less than 6 months.
just wanted to understand.
But
Or,
the other question is, does somebody run or does somebody win for a write-in election? We need to check that out too.
right.
I thought
So I
it
guess
had, you had to be a designated candidate.
Not for a write-in.
Not always.
you-
I think the state statute was that if it wasn't designated, if there was no one running, then you would count the write-ins. But technically we need to check that out.
Check out the
So
scenarios.
we
Right,
have,
I
we
know
have some
Lewis-
homework to do to understand scenarios in the event
What
that we don't
happens?
have. Okay.
Yes.
So is that something that we can get a follow-up on sooner rather than later? Thank you.
So we do some advertising on that. So this order is for the special municipal election for the charter amendment, actually. So that would be
Sign-on
what you're
bonus or
voting
something.
for. You're going to place the proposed charter amendment question
I
on
don't
the
want to hear
ballot.
any more pothole discussions, because that's what's gonna happen. Get enough money for a sign-on bonus.
Ray says he's ready. Ray says
All right,
he's
so
right up
to
here.
get back to your.
Yeah, your motion
Wait,
is
no,
to place the
Mr. Ray has to
question
wait till July
about
1
the
with
charter amendment on the
difference.
June 19th ballot.
Okay, so
Wrong
we want
side
to
of town.
make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
6-0, order passed.
But I like what you were
Thank
putting
you.
down there, Chris.
Right.
Exactly.
He's been here
Yeah.
more.
3
almost-
meetings, he's
right.
in the van.
Right,
Right.
right.
I feel that.
Somebody get him some
I got-
Kool-Aid.
I got a strong inclination that he's not gonna be at the next meeting. Next item, sorry.
Order 2019-71, the MMA Executive Committee and Vice President openings. They're seeking statements of interest.
Anybody interested?
No, I'm
Cor-
good.
Crickets.
This does not require an action, right? It's just
No, it's
information.
just Well-
If you're interested, there's a deadline, I'm sure.
seeing no interest, next item.
Unless we want to put it to Mark again, that's a good story.
Order 2019-72, the Dingley TIF expenditure designation.
This is what we talked about it last week but I need to correct what I said. When we hired the part-time coordinator last year and what we've been doing this year with Julianne, the money's been coming out of the Moxie revenue. I was wrong when I said it was coming out of the TIF.
It wasn't that it was wrong. We never, I know this point blank, we gotta pull that workshop tape. I know.
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine. I make
yeah.
I make the motion that we actually tap the Dingley TIF.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Second
That's where we're going. Okay, good.
Who
That way we
seconded?
don't even have to get there. Because the
Good,
fact
thank
is
you.
we know what the
You-
intent
You
was.
know where I was going with that. That's fun. So, okay, so we got a motion, we got a second. All in favor?
Order passed, 6-0.
So happy to put that to
Yep.
bed. Next item.
Order
Wasn't even painful.
2019-73, the summer council meeting schedule.
One for August and one for July. You guys all on with that?
Yeah, because June doesn't work. So
Yeah,
we
we
have-
can't. We got, there's always going to be 2 in June,
So,
maybe 3.
yes, do you need dates?
We
Preferred tonight?
proposed July 16th and August 13th.
We always can add a special one in if we need to, right?
Correct.
It's not like we're-
Yeah, we just would like to know ahead of time just for planning our agenda and some of the things
Yep.
that are coming
Works for
up.
me. Anybody got any objections to those dates?
I'll make a
Far enough
motion.
ahead? Absolutely.
Second. All in favor?
Order passed, 6-0.
Lightning round here today. Next item.
New
Other
record.
business council committee reports.
School. No news is good news. Right now, we're still in the wait and see pattern to see what the state's going to give us for money. Yay. Oh, I'm sorry. I have my job. Planning board. Council Ward.
Yep, planning board, they did a comprehensive plan update. They had a case for site plan for Crystal Spring Health Alternatives. They'll be reworking that. That didn't go well. And an update on the Graziano Square that Dennis presented the information that we actually had seen formalized.
Bless you.
Rest probably could be picked up with Fern with the LDC.
Nice. So that segues nicely. Council Rochelle, LDC.
Actually, a lot of movement on the Graziano Square, as Alan had mentioned. The town's working forward to try to get all the everything, all the parts in place to make it work forward. Stay tuned. It's going to be very nice. And I see if you folks actually seen that article that Tracy shared, 10 points of actually making public, parks. And basically, we hit pretty much most of
did,
those. I
just
think,
about
didn't we?
every one of them.
That was awesome. So, again, that was. I think it's a great opportunity. We will be having a meeting coming up. So, if anybody has an interest, they can either reach out to me or Diane, and we'll have that posted and make sure. I would give the exact date, but I can't remember what the exact date was. But either way, it's coming up this month. We'll have another meeting. So, if anybody has any interest or concerns, please reach out. We'll make sure they get the information for the meeting.
Sounds good. Conservation Commission, sir.
I believe that's next Tuesday, isn't it? Right, so we'll have
Okay, no
information
news is good
coming.
news right now. Recreation.
Meeting's next week, right?
We met last night.
Oh, for the rec, but Moxie's next week.
Correct.
Moxie's next week.
You want to give us just a quick rundown, Mark, if you don't mind? Thank you.
My name is Mark Stevens. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director. The Recreation Committee met last night, and on the agenda was we reviewed the budget again. We reviewed the project report that I think that you folks have already seen. The town manager asked for a couple weeks ago. Also, we announced that we're bringing back the fishing derby at Beaver Park.
Nice.
We found some people that are going to be stocking our ponds again. And we also reviewed the plans for the Graziano Corner. So that was it.
Pretty busy night. Thank you.
When's the fishing derby?
Fishing derby is on the same day as National Bring Your Kid to the Park Day, which is the May 19th, I believe.
Good little lead up to it, so.
Yep.
Push it on the webpage.
That's a Sunday, Mark?
It's a Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe.
On our calendar, it is May 19th is a Sunday.
Twyla, is that National Bring Your Kid to the Park Day?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. Got it.
That's good. Stars are aligning, right?
We'll be bringing you a proclamation.
Sweet. County Budget, Council Wood.
Nothing.
Okay. And Library, Council Lund.
Nothing new to report.
All right. Moving on. Next item. I almost said it.
Town Manager's Report.
Thank you.
So I have one item. Maine Power Options contacted me very late last week with an offer to go out for the standard offer on our small electricity accounts. Currently, we are with Maine Power Option on the medium and large accounts for a multi-year contract, a three-year contract, and we have the option to do the same thing with Maine Power Options. Currently, we're paying a little over 9 cents a kilowatt on those smaller accounts, and we can lock in, if we go through December of 2023, we can lock in annually at a fixed rate for about 6.5 cents a kilowatt. So I looked up some of our accounts today to see what we are paying in the summer months. We're paying almost 8 cents a kilowatt, and right now we're paying a little over 9 cents. So I don't believe it will ever get down to the 6.5 cents, and the reason that's so low is because this Maine Power Option is the largest electricity supplier purchasing consortium in the state of Maine, so a lot of people go in together, and they only open up these opportunities 3 or 4 times a year. So I think it would be good to take advantage of that. And the price that I just gave to you is good through. On the contract, it says 4 o'clock, but he's quite sure he can keep it until tomorrow morning. If not, then he's going to have to refresh it, and I'll have to get whatever the next rate is.
Go ahead.
There's no special requirements on our behalf as far as minimum, maximums.
No.
limits.
No. It's all the smaller accounts. Normally, they don't do smaller accounts. I was surprised when I got this.
Everybody all good with this? I'm
Motion.
sure that if they come back tomorrow and they try to pull this out, put something
A
else
motion
in
to
there.
allow the town manager to move forward on this before they change their mind.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Would have passed 6-0.
They do have I just noticed here, fuel oil program, so I'm going to look into that as well.
I haven't seen that one.
Huh?
I haven't seen that one. That
I
would be
haven't.
some
It's
follow-up.
on one of their drop-downs on the side, so I'm not sure what that entails, but I'll look it up and I'll let you know what I find out on it.
I'd be interested on that
Yeah.
one. The small meters, I've seen that because we do the same thing. But
Yeah.
it's bundling. Anything that actually
It is.
saves is something that. I mean, what it also does for you as a purchasing person is you don't have to field questions for everybody and their brother that wants to be your agent.
Exactly.
You can tell them that you're tied up until 2023 in the conversation.
Right.
Goes away, right?
Next
Thank you.
item. Thank you. Next item.
We have no appointments. It would be Counselor Communications.
Who wants to lead off? Anybody?
I will not be here at the next meeting.
Okay.
I will have my questions answered and any recommendations for the police and fire. You guys will have that by the end of the week.
Anybody else?
Good.
All right. Next item.
Audience participation for new items.
This time, anybody who wants to jump up to the podium, get in the game? Doesn't look that way. I think we're moving on. Next item.
So we have no executive session. It would be in order to adjourn to the workshop to do the budget, Parks and Recreation.
Need a motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
6-0.
The first 20-minute meeting if you actually.
That's right. So,
New record.
21 minutes.
bring it.
Was it 18? I
Mine
had
was
21.
18.
No, it wasn't 18. Give me a break. It's not the official game clock. I'm not believing it.
It's on.
That's all right. We're going to a 2-hour workshop marathon right now.
No.
No.
Mark's good. Come on up.
Ready, set, go. No.
Just trying. I'm just
reading it line for line.
I'm just trying to beat any hope out of them that they had in getting out of here early tomorrow.
It's cruel and unusual
Crush the
punishment.
spirit early. Crush the spirit early in the budget season, I say.
But Lydia's here for backup.
Just in case.
Let's just make that thing go away.
We've had an extra week to look over the Parks and Recreation budget. And I'll start off by saying is that there hasn't been too many changes from last year. Basically, the minimum wage impact played a role in our temporary wages and our wages. Something I've been asking for the last couple of years is for you folks to take a look at that and start, having an effect or making a reaction to the minimum wage increase that's happened 3 years ago. Minimum wage will be $12 an hour this coming January, and it's hitting everybody with the same impact. But our 95 seasonal and temporary employees are now getting back on the wage where they should be. I appreciate that. The goals that I sent out and reported for last year, I just wanted to mention a couple of them, but not necessarily will they affect the budget. Do you want me to go over those? I noticed when the library did their presentation, they talked about their goals first. Okay. Some of the things that we wanted to do as far as facilities go is we got to finish the walkway around the MTM park or building that goes out to the back of the park. Right now, it's been gravel for the last 2 years. We have volunteers that have committed to it, but haven't had the time to do it. This year, we're planning on having our staff after Memorial Day get on that and work putting the pavers down. We have $3,000 in a line that we have earmarked for that. We also have been working on a digital mapping for all of our trails, including Beaver Park trails. Androscoggin River Trail. There's an app out there called My Walk or Trails that you can just pull out on your device and type in Trails in Lisbon, and all of our trails, GPS will pop right up on your device and show exactly where you are, which is really good for Beaver Park because if you haven't been in there, all the trails in there, they kind of weave, intersect, and you can put as much signage out there as you can and still get lost out there. I've done it many times. With that device, with GPS on your device, with the trails all earmarked and mapped out, excuse me, it's going to give anybody that out there a great advantage of getting back when they want to. Make it a little bit more clear. And also, as a river trail, people walk, bike. It gives them people, even though we have the mile markers there, people still like to map their runs and map their walks and know exactly where they are and how far they've gone. And that's what that application is going to do. We should be done that by the end of May. The invasive species program we've been working on the last couple of years, that's going to be an ongoing project. That's not going to go away. There's always new invasive species that are listed by the state. We're always going to stay on top of that and react and identify the ones that are in our public lands and take care of them as we can. One of the areas that we wanted to do was level off back of MTM. Right now there's some high spots and low spots. There's some paving that was there when the modular units were there back in 2003. We'd like to remove that pavement and make it all grass. That's a project that we're going to be working on. 1 to 5 years out, we want to build 2 yurts in Beaver Park to inspire camping, and we think that would do that. We need to fix the Miller Trail fencing. If you guys have been out there, some of the fencing is falling into the river. It's kind of erosion falling into the river, and we're talking to Randy Sear about how we can look at coming up with a plan on redesigning that fence along the river. We need to improve the beachfront at Beaver Park. 30 years ago, there was a beautiful beach there that was probably about 70 to 100 feet of frontage. Now it's about 15 feet with all the growth. And we have some plans to bring in some sand and, just improve the beach area. We need to do that. Hasn't been touched in a long, long time. We have a 1 to 5 year plan of doing something behind ETTI and Enterprise Electric. There's a nice spot right there that overlooks the Androscoggin. We have a couple picnic tables. It's a nice open space. The town owns the property. We have some parking there now. And we'd like to do a small park there. Something, passive park that's not going to cost a lot of money, but would inspire people to go there and picnic. And
It is a great spot.
it really is. We need to renovate our bathhouses, and we can do that in-house with the materials and the resources that we have, but those need work too. A little bit longer range plan, and we've talked about it at the Recreation Committee level, is to introduce disc golf at Beaver Park. We think that will be a very great opportunity, but a revenue opportunity. And so we have some planning to do with that, but when we do our forestry plan, we think we could mirror that plan with the disc golf course. So when the skidders and equipment goes in there and starts clearing out some of these dead trees, we can also put our plan together to make some, small, maybe like a 9-hole course to start off with. That will come with some challenges. We've talked about this quite a bit at the Recreation Committee level, that it would inspire people from all over, not just Lisbon, but people from all over, and we might have bigger crowds than we really need out there or want. But I think that it'll be manageable, but there's a lot of questions before we start digging into that. And that's pretty much the goals that I have listed here. Anybody have any questions on any of them?
Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The GPS, as far as for the trails and for the walking trails, that would help too on emergency type situations, won't it? So someone can actually identify where they are if there's a concern.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yep.
that's good. Because you can get tied up out there pretty easily sometimes. And
You can get really turned around out there.
Yep, good.
A lot of elevation changes. And,
Any other questions for Mark? Anyone?
Account 5110, wages.
wages.
I asked a question earlier, Mark addressed it, about last year's spending versus this year's budget. The one takeaway that I bring to this is that talked about the custodian being able to be reduced.
Yes.
So if you stick with that, I would make the recommendation that we reduce that line by 3,600. I'm not trying to actually cut associated with that. I hear his things for why the account was left there, but if there is something we can do with janitorial to at least minimize that, I would recommend we do so.
Yeah, we could reduce that $3,600 and have very little impact on the quality of the building at MTM.
Anything else?
The mileage one we took, 5120.
Mileage, reduced to 0.
That one's already been done.
Yeah.
Okay. Trash 5277. That's a credit coming? Is that what you said?
We split that with LACO. They pay half and we pay half. And I believe what has been happening is that LACO gives Brenda a check and they do it internally. So
Okay.
they pay for half of it.
So it's coming. My concern there was I didn't want to be cutting the budget back and then end up
Right.
having you run short. That was just one that clearly looks like it was overexpended year to date. That's why.
Okay.
And then I just had a question on, do you have a line item for new program revenue under 5672? What was the program you added last year?
Last year, all the new programs are pre-K and kindergarten programs. So our
Okay.
little kickers soccer program. We have K1 football and a horseback riding program. Those are all new programs. And the one that we added last year, Winterfest was in there as well. So, I mean, that was 3 years ago. So,
Okay. All right, so they haven't been broken out elsewhere, so they were
Right.
placeholder. That's what I was wondering.
Mhm.
Just okay. And the 9,000 or the money that we raised from Sunshine Hill gang that they raised, I should say, that we earmarked to be able to go against a purchase? Is that something that we need to memorialize moving forward?
I think so. That's what I was going to bring to you when we do the revenues, is to
Okay.
the revenues from the car show,
Yep.
excluding the expenses.
Expenses of $3,000.
Right.
Right.
Keep that in the
Which-
revenue to offset that, and everything else, we should start a reserve account for the Sunshine Hill group or the senior program.
Right, because to Counselor Albert's point, we've already memorialized that because we talked about that, because of the intent would be to be able, any maintenance on that vehicle, we've already got the funding to be able to do so, so we're not having to tap it for something else.
But I will have that on an
Okay.
agenda for you to vote on.
Perfect.
We will set up the reserve account.
Yeah, it's just, anything else, I know, Mark, that we talked about, stuff that hasn't already been addressed, to
Right.
at least memorialize where you're at right now?
I think that as far as the Moxie Car Show, I think that was it. But the other thing is going to be when we have discussion with revenues. I let Diane know that our software program made a pretty big change in the way they manage their program. It's an off-site software company out of Atlanta, Georgia, that takes all of our registrations. And before, what they did was they charged us 4% for any credit card that was used in our office. And we didn't really notice it because we never saw the money. They sent us a check every month. But when they got overwhelmed and they couldn't manage all of these all these towns that are involved with their program, they decided to minimize and decided to do an annual fee. So I had Sherry do some research on what we paid the last couple of years on 4% charges for these, and we were paying around $8,000 a year. Based on our size department, they're going to be charging us, I think, $4,200, something like that, annually, and we'll pay that in December for the year. So when we talk about revenues, we'll be able to see, we'll see a plus of about $4,000 in our revenue side in just that one program, and we don't have to do anything. So
Where's that, before you didn't see it, where's that fee budgeted?
it's not. Oh, it's
The 4,200 should be.
It's not
'cause
in the
you-
revenues. Oh, the 42 it's going to go in technology, right?
It's under technology?
That's going to be in their expense, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we're getting all the same services for,
Nothing's going to change in the way that we have services from them. It's going to be the same. Yeah.
So, that said, the difference between the 4,200 and what you were to pay, you should see a slight increase in some of the transactions for revenue side.
That's right. So if we were paying
That's good.
$8,000 last couple of years, then we'll get that $8,000 full, but we'll have to pay $4,200 in
Right.
expenses.
Right. And that was one of my original questions that I submitted to you guys, the fact that Marks is one of the departments that to be able to look at, you really need the revenue side to be able to see before you make a decision, because cutting just the expenditure side without looking at what you're doing to the revenues accordingly is kind of shooting the programs.
Well, that's what I want to say too. When we're talking about new programs, one of the reasons why we do that new program account is because, if that program only goes a year or two, then we probably won't. And we don't sustain it, we don't keep it going, then we'd have to make a change in the budget. We just reduce that amount. But any program that we have started since my tenure makes enough money to pay for itself. So cutting programs it wouldn't make any sense because they pay for themselves. They're totally self-sufficient. And so, but in the last couple of years, we moved from those expense accounts. We took those. We had a lot of 5,600 accounts that each one of those programs brought money in and showed a revenue, but they showed an amount that we brought in for revenues, and then they were in expense accounts, and then we paid for that account. They paid for that program out of that account, and usually at the end of the year we'd have a couple $1,000, and that money would be turned over. But that process changed like 3 or 4 years ago, and now those programs are in our budget, and so I've made a profit loss report on some of our biggest programs. Our after-school program, for example. Just for an example, I'll just show you. I did an after-school program, and I did our summer day camps. Let me just show you. Here we go. Year to date. In our after-school program, we had, this is year to date, so It's not going to be the whole year. We've expensed $19,775 in salaries. We brought in $38,000 in revenues. So there you go. That program is at $18,000 in the good spot right now. We're projected to be about $21,000 in the black at the end of the year. And our temporary wages, under our summer day camps, that means trekker camp, cricket, and playground camp. Last summer we spent $63,000 in salaries and wages, and we brought in $66,000 in revenues. So, and those salaries numbers are going up a little bit because of the minimum wage, but and our revenues are still showing, positive numbers. So
that's a pardon, but that's kind of a slippery slope. One of the things that you
Excuse me.
Where does the administrative staff in your time actually get applied? Because a percentage of that should actually go to the programs as well too. So it's there, but it's not a true picture of it.
it's not a calculation I've ever done before.
Yeah,
How
I know,
much time
but
do I spend on, planning summer day program?
the only reason I bring it up at all is I hear the criticism from Lewiston that you have to accept a certain level before you look at programming, because there are positions like yours that you're overseeing all of them. So in theory, a percentage of your time should be charged to that program, if you will.
Then you'd have to do that with the library. You have to do that with every other department too, though. The library and
No, I don't disagree.
Fire
I don't.
department.
That's why I said it's a slippery slope. The effect is where's my time going? Right.
Yeah.
or you could
Doing a
build,
great job, Mark.
you could build a pool and we could have a YWCA in Lisbon.
Yeah, you can have Lewiston some days. I mean, that's an active dialogue associated with the cost associated with
I don't
it.
think we
And I'm
wanna
sure
go
you've
there.
heard it. Right.
20.
I'm gonna just stop talking right there.
You are not.
For the minute, yeah. Anyone else? Anyone?
No? All right. Thank you.
No, thank you, Mark.
Appreciate it.
You guys do a great job.
Norm, I forgot to have
Two lady over there.
Leah come up and give an update on Munis.
All right, so we'll ask her to come up. We can do that it's just an informal. This isn't. Lydia, would you mind just give us a quick informal before you leave us? Bail out, run away,
Flee,
don't feel
run.
bad.
Lydia Colston, Finance Director. So we're pretty much on board for going live with payroll next week. We did some final testing today that went well, which was very exciting. And the other modules that we've gone live on were animal licenses, business licenses. Tyler cashiering has gone live. We're taking payments through cashiering now, and that's gone well. We still have central property file, tax billing, and main tax lien that we don't have a go live date because that's going to depend on the commitment. And then we have utility billing. It's going to be about 7 or 8 months before that's completed. It's going to be, I think, next month, maybe a month and a half when we're really going to get rolling on that.
Start to take
But other than that, everything is pretty much on track and pays where we're expecting it to be. So
day-to-day operational stuff, the stuff that we were hoping to see those efficiencies and gains in, those are going live, correct?
they are going live. They are.
Payroll being one of the bigger ones.
That is. It is. Next week is our first payroll run through the system. So we've done some mock ones this week and got it to go through. So that's good.
Well, I want to thank you and all the staff, and you've worked your tails off to get to where it's at.
Staff has definitely
and,
done a good job and
the
worked a lot.
reason that you guys are where we are at on this is because that commitment and focus and working with our partners at Tyler and getting them
That's right.
getting them where we needed them to be.
Yep.
So thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody?
It's good, I think, unless anybody else had something. Anyone? Bueller? All right. So adjourn. Fine. Workshop.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
I don't think we can vote in the workshop anyway, guys.
Is that right?
Sound good?
Got it. 6-0. Done.
There, gone,
Donka.
not there. If you want to go about it.
Yeah, right.
like that idea.
Ray, you just don't want to take out papers, you